Greetings and welcome to the RIWI Corp presentation. It is now my pleasure to introduce your host, Neil Seaman, founder and CEO. Thank you, sir. You may begin.
Thank you to Planet MicroCap. Good morning for the opportunity to present today. RIWI, for those of you who don't know, stands for Real-Time Interactive Worldwide Intelligence. We conduct multi-country surveys and message tests for large businesses, government agencies focused on international security, and multi-laterals that need to hear the opinions from people who don't typically answer surveys in order to grow our clients' earnings, adjust their public messaging, or adapt or cancel their products. RIWI has collected response data from over 1.6 billion interviewees in 229 countries and territories of the globe. We're now actively involved in collecting mission-critical data about COVID-19 for Fortune 500 companies, including on topics like the changing prevalence of disease and symptoms in a broad range of countries. And I look forward to sharing with you some hot off the press data about this today. On slide 2, you see, please, our legal disclaimer regarding forward-looking statements. On slide 3, you'll see 4 of the key challenges of the legacy survey methods and all online data collection tools today, many of which started to get documented after the H1N1 pandemic in 2009, 2010, where social media analytics was exposed to be problematic and online panel polling was revealed as deeply flawed. In order to be what RIWI calls a single source of truth of what people anywhere online authentically think and observe, it's helpful to think about these 4 challenges that RIWI solves. Legacy methods like online panel surveys, where people sign up for cash or rewards to answer survey questions, do not meet real-time business needs. And by real-time at RIWI, we do mean real-time, so not episodic data dumps. And that's the reason why RIWI has unseated household name incumbent research providers to financial institutions. Traditional online survey techniques can be manipulated. So whether it's a survey about tracking local gang activity in the Philippines, and certainly surveys about elections anywhere, robots are everywhere online. Our platform cannot be manipulated by sensors or robots, and to the extent they even try, we shut them down immediately. Traditional online survey techniques are biased in who they sample and who they leave out of the data equation. This is increasingly seen by scientists and customers as the core value proposition of RIWI. Most of our respondents in most countries have not answered a survey of any other kind in the prior month. This is why we are game-changing. Whether it was the election of President Trump, which RIWI predicted, or the huge defeat of the Italian constitutional reform referendum in 2016, which RIWI was alone in the world in publicly predicting, RIWI hears some quiet voices, that is, people who don't typically post online or answer surveys online, and that's why we offer our clients an intelligence edge. Fourth, traditional online survey techniques can have low sample sizes, major geographic limitations, and slow data collection. This is especially concerning in China and India, across Africa, and even across parts of Europe or the US. People, when I speak with them, are often surprised to learn, for example, that many major traditional political polls reported in the mainstream media tend to have very low representation of 18 to 34-year-old men, a key demographic group. We move to slide 4, you see the mission of RIWI and what we offer the world that sets us apart. A lot of what is on the media today, whether it's about an alleged controversy concerning a major company or public figure, or about what may be happening in China, is often a departure from the truth. RIWI offers clients the true wisdom and authentic observations of the online crowds. One key takeaway from this slide is that the nature of our clients is such that once we complete the first project, the data challenges are so enduring for our clients that they want and need us to tackle the next set of data challenges. Through our secure web dashboards that our clients receive, we provide consumer and citizen sentiment data for continuous actionable insights anywhere. In slide 5, you see just a slice of the multi-country COVID-related economic resilience data we are collecting now across the world. This is internal research data that's current up until April 20th. What we generally see in the world now is that there is big variability in terms of economic impact in different countries. China, the epicenter, has been hit very hard. There's a bit of a false media narrative right now suggesting things are returning to business normal in China. That's not what our data are bearing out. We conduct this kind of work on behalf of clients, but also for marketing to win new business. We have economic data forthcoming by two world-leading economists, David Bell and David Blanchflower, in the Cambridge Economic Journal, National Institute of Economic Review, the May edition, which will reveal the intense nature of the labor impact of the pandemic in the United Kingdom and the US using our real-time data. In slide 6, we asked RIWI respondents to predict whether the US will be in an economic downturn at the end of 2020. One of the things to keep in mind is that the reality is that in most surveys, most people are undecided or just don't know the answer. This is rarely reported in major media, since the media like to have a narrative that doesn't often align with ambiguity and uncertainty. It's also important to keep in mind that RIWI respondents, when asked to predict an outcome, like whether there will be an economic downturn or whether there will be intensifying clashes on the streets, which is something we were very engaged in during the Hong Kong protests and the pro-democracy movement there, are very different than traditional survey respondents. As I noted earlier, RIWI respondents are more honest, they are diverse, and importantly, they are not providing personally identifiable information that can be traceable to them. So when you look at these data in slide 6, you'll see that the percentage of people who think there will be a downturn is rising, but the percentage of people who just don't know is still much higher. Often our clients are in fact paying us for the I don't know, since they need to learn whether a perceived crisis is a real crisis in the eyes of consumers or citizens. That gives our clients the data to design or redesign a message or program for this huge population and to determine and measure how they react to new programs. In this one slide, in slide 7, the older RIWI data having been profiled April 7th in an article in TechNode, a leading tech publication in China. This is one of many findings that tell me that the psychological impact of COVID is being felt in real time in China and is affecting the way Chinese regard their needs and preferences. Specifically, the demand signals for studying outside of China are changing fast, as the slide shows. What young people in China study and where they choose to study and why they study what they do, whether it's engineering or AI or telemedicine or data science, is an important factor in understanding the future of geopolitics, the movement of people around the world, country innovation, and prosperity. So in slide 8, this sort of expresses my view that in the data and innovation sector, my view is that you have to be or aspire to be the very best in the world at something, and you need to be at least 3 times, ideally 10 times better to be truly disruptive. So if you Google the words RIWI and disruptive, you'll find a lot, thousands, certainly hundreds, online references from clients, media, and experts in data collection. But what matters more than disruption is sales and whether clients really care about the disruption that you offer. So with respect to all these 3 points illustrated on this slide, the market is telling us loud and clear that our clients value the disruption we exclusively offer. So first, on the left, we are global. And when we say global survey response data collection, we do mean global, not 24 countries or even 50 countries, which would have been excellent for you, really. So second, as I've noted before, we reach the previously disengaged population and we avoid the biases of paid surveys and social media analytics. One of the dirty hidden secrets of traditional polling is that people who answer surveys do so very, very frequently. Many studies show that some people answer dozens of surveys a day in order to earn cash. And that's one of the reasons why, contrary to the vast majority of polls, RIWI was able to successfully predict the US 2016 presidential election and popular vote with precision. We listened to those quiet voices. 2016, that was the 18 to 34-year-old young men in the US Rust Belt who hadn't broadcast their feelings until they were at the ballot box. And third, on the right, with RIWI, data collection is fast and scalable, allowing for large sample sizes in short and actionable time frames. One of the things our global customer, BofA Securities, loves about this is that they can change questions in field in any country quickly. Say, for example, if a new element of the pandemic breaks out, or if there are divergent theories among experts, which there are right now, about how different pockets of the population in different parts of the world will react to government policies, Taiwan, Hong Kong, anywhere around the world, and messages particular about which policy. So how secure is our moat? There are technical, reputational, and growing market secrets that prevent others from doing what we do. But our IP protection goes beyond existing patent filings and IP. First, we own random domain intercept technology. What is this invention? At a very high level, web users who navigate to dormant registered web domains are invited to participate in RIWI surveys or message tests. That happens every second of every day. We offer continuous data collection for accurate insight. This is a protected business patent with many approved claims that enables other firms to license our technology or work with us, which they increasingly do. So think of RIWI as a global router that can integrate with large data access firms that do have open data sources but need the RIWI data feed to satisfy their end customers. We constantly iterate in R&D. We expand our IP filings and publish papers to publicly document and improve our company structure to build out our moat. Second, our customers care an increasing amount about true privacy. So in other systems, not like RIWI, once personal information has been provided online, like an email or phone number or name, the data can always be de-anonymized and very easily traced back to a person providing the data. So that's increasingly now the requirement, which is why there's a requirement for truly anonymous RIWI-style data collection as required by university ethics, partly why we are in multi-year work with top research groups, Harvard, University of Toronto, Australian National University, and many EU-based firms. And the private sector, especially the finance sector, cares a great deal about this, which makes the due diligence prior to a RIWI sale as compared to another alternative data vendor typically much faster, smoother. Third, you'll see on the right of this slide, we do enjoy a lot of third-party reviews from top sources. RIWI has been validated by G7 agencies, and our tech platform has been profiled in top scientific journals, such as PLOS Medicine and Nature. In the data sector, validations like this matter a lot to win new business. This is especially the case if you want big contract wins or non-RFP work, where multi-million-dollar business is available to you that is not available to very large data firms with a long history that do not enjoy a tiny fraction. So on slide 10, you see an example of that kind of validation. So what we do in China is unique in the world, and it's not just me saying that. It's the head of innovation for Honda in Japan who published with other researchers about our auto sales data in China. And it's a former G7 central bank economist who published about how RIWI uniquely predicts sector-based employment in China, or the Chinese Purchasing Manufacturers Index before these official government numbers are published. It's also why we won the Battle of the Quants Rising Star Award in 2019 from the quantitative hedge fund sector. We track scientifically reliable opinion data in real time across all of rural and urban China, vastly better than any other firm. If you care about China, you come to RIWI, and whether you're a China long-short hedge fund or a US-based retail firm that wants to understand the real market share of Starbucks or Luckin Coffee or Apple or smaller and emerging technologies and companies, RIWI is that data solution. So slide 11, of course, I'm the founder, so I'm biased about the quality of our data streams, and I've been preaching to what I'd call an increasingly converted choir of former skeptics to fanatical believers in why our data are best in breed. We have predicted a lot of elections and referenda around the world, and generally that's statistically easy compared to what you see on the left of this slide, which is sometimes referred to among quants and finance as capital prize. Since nobody did it, RIWI did it, and we're getting better at it. So that means predicting the monthly non-farm payrolls data in the United States, out monthly by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. We proved that RIWI data can predict when there will be a significant departure between what the expert consensus thinks versus what the actual job number will be. So to place a bet on that number, and I'm sure some in this audience know how to do that, you can make a lot of money, or you can have an information edge that can validate or challenge your hypothesis of where U.S. jobs are. In slide 12, you see RIWI financial metrics from 2017 to 2019, growing cash, revenue, and profit. RIWI prides itself in delivering the markers of foundational value, growth, profitability, and cash in the bank. In this context, I do think it's important to recognize that while RIWI was legally incorporated in 2009 at the side of my desk while I was still teaching, we fully commercialized only in 2017 when we hired a full-time CTO, full-time CFO, raised hedge fund financing, and I stopped my teaching. One of the things I'm most proud of in our company is moving our culture to a profit-focused, laser-focused sales orientation, extraordinary talent. What we have in terms of culture at RIWI is beautiful and built for resilience and growth. So in slide 13, what does growth, top-line growth look like at RIWI? In this slide, there's a bit of an overview of how we recognize revenue, which is important to note, especially as I give some context to recent contract wins. Next slide, I'll cover that. Approximately 90% of our 2019 revenue was recurring. Our definition of recurring revenue includes ongoing subscription-based services and long-term contracts of 6 months or longer that have a reasonably strong chance of being renewed or expanded. So far in 2020, we have secured more than $2.5 million in recurring revenue business. With recurring revenues comes increased profit, new sales, increased durability, and a clearer path to our goal of $30 million in revenues for 2024. Our recurring revenue flows from long-term global customers such as BofA Securities, U.S. Department of State, One Central Bank that demand excellence and dependable data solutions in times of uncertainty like these and during periods of prosperity. So some of the big wins in early 2020 are on this slide. Both on January 2nd and March 26th, we announced new contracts of north of $100 each. And on April 6th, we were recognized by the Financial Times as one of the top 5 first annual ranking. So here on slide 15, you see our growth plans toward $30 million in revenue in 2024. Every advance in recurring revenue and all expandable business gives us greater confidence. You'll see these 5 bullet items here, and on every one of these growth items, we have made significant progress. On the first item, COVID-19 has meant that we are virtual and we need to meet our clients where they want, which is virtual. The COVID-19 pandemic has increased the number of sales opportunities in our pipeline from customers requesting data capture solutions for which RIWI can provide a unique predictive lens into business trends, public health risks, international security, and consumer activity in all areas of the world. In this context, certain customer requests from the private and public sector have required joint agreements between RIWI and data access companies in order to deliver our data through third-party portals. But none of these developments have interrupted our core business strategy of hiring new sales personnel, increasing our sales opportunities, and diversifying our client base while increasing recurring revenues. On slide 16, you see our corporate information. All of this information is in the public domain. Management is dedicated to continually communicating our progress and milestones to encourage shareholders to review the company's regular publications, news releases, public events, profiling RIWI, international marketing, and progress reports are available on the company's website at RIWI.CN. On the last slide, you see the quote, "The price of light is less than the cost of darkness," from Arthur Nielsen, who founded ACL. At RIWI, we've been heavily influenced by the pioneers in opinion data collection and all big data collection, which has guided us both on research and development and on business strategy. So at RIWI, we price to value. Our clients recognize that and respect it, and that is what is conveyed in that quote. And more than that, the quote underscores why we care about what we do, which is uncovering the truth, no matter how ugly that truth may be. Another inspiration, more casually, may be the actor Jack Nicholson, whom we refer to a lot at our company in the awesome film A Few Good Men, who shouted on the stand, Tom Cruise, "You can't handle the truth." So what we've learned at RIWI is that the very best clients in the world want the truth, and more so than ever today. Thank you. So I believe I may have time for a question. I'm not sure. So we've got a whole whack of questions. I'm sorry, I will not possibly be able to answer all of these questions. But maybe just the last, sort of the most important one. Can you give me an update on the sales strategy and hiring process? Okay, so a lot's going on here, and that sort of affects everything. So we have hired a Chief Revenue Officer, Neil Weitzman, and we are hiring business development, customer success people, marketing people, really with view to driving our U.S.-based and private sector business, and also driving out our marketing to increase sales. This is something that I committed for the year and late last year, and this is going very well. We are inundated by excellent candidates. Again, this is technology, but it's also people. So thank you. I'm very sensitive to time. I'm going to end it here, but everyone, absolutely, anyone with this multitude of questions, which are too many to answer, can contact us at the contact information and also. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a nice day. Thanks.
Thank you. This does conclude today's teleconference. You may disconnect your lines at this time and have a great day.